So I wanted to do a little video here talking about some astrology again. As you saw on my Snapchat, there was a video. I was at work and I heard sirens, ambulances, this sort of thing. And I turned around and I looked up and I'm like, oh yeah, there's a full moon in Aries. So that makes sense, um, uh, possible aggression, passion. If you go to an emergency room somewhere and you ask people who work there if there's a correlation between full moons and, let's say, extreme human behavior or human behavior, a lot of people will tell you they connect the dots. They're smart. They're not stupid. I've even talked to a doctor before about this, and she said, yeah, I used to work in an emergency room, and every time there's a full moon, just crazy stuff would happen. Crazy things. People would come in, and but she wouldn't admit as much. She went there a little bit. So it's just funny how science is kind of stuck. They don't know really how to deal with this stuff. But anybody with a neuron can connect the dots and see these things. So I want to go back to the Saturn retrograde and karma, because that's what that's about. And I still see people being devastated and taken out by the karma that they've put out over decades, maybe. Um, just taken out physically, mentally, spiritually, and since these people lack any type of higher dimensional awareness, they have no idea how to even cope with this suffering. So I see they get insanely drunk or just distracted because they can't understand that the suffering that they've put out has come back to them in equal measure. And that's what happens. Now, the good news is that a lot of people don't know this, but the Hindu have a word for the opposite of karma, and that's called dharma. So, in other words, the love and the goodness that you put out comes back to you in equal measure, just as karma does. So, for some reason, that's not ever talked about, but I wanted to bring that up. Also, in this book that I've been reading, it's an academic study of the history of astrology through the ages. And it doesn't argue for or against the validity of astrology at all. It just talks about, well, it traces astrology back to the earliest human written record, which is Sumeria, the oldest human civilization. And it goes up into our times now. But I also got like a huge history lesson of the Roman Empire, and I was amazed to find out that almost every single Roman emperor was obsessed with astrology. They had astrologers, they studied astrology themselves, and they were focused primarily on two things. They wanted to know when they were going to die and how they were going to die. And it really is amazing to me that a lot of times they were very accurate. Now in modern days, people use astrology. They think it's astrology is this cute little thing. It's cute, and we don't take it very seriously. It's just something we dabble in, and a lot of people just want to know what their love life is going to be like. So, where I'm at with my thought right now is astrology is a tool that can be used for many different reasons. It seems to change through the ages. I suspect that I've always suspected that astrology may be a tip of an iceberg to something very, very, very deep. We call it astrology. It's just these cycles, but I believe that these cycles are just within cycles and bigger cycles and smaller cycles, and it's just all connected somehow. And consciousness seems to have something to do with it. I really hope that someday science will be able to detect exactly what's going on. Until then, we're not able to do that. We can just connect the dots. So I hope somebody finds that useful. Thank you for watching.